Hey everybody, and welcome back to the shop. And today we're going to start back in on the Massey Ferguson 25 hay rake. But before I do, I've been meaning to get around to do a little quick mail call. Duke's small engine. So he had sent me this here a while back, and just now getting around to putting it up here on the board. So let's take care of that, and we'll get out here to this hay rake. Alright, so I got old Duke's small engines right up beside Lucky Larry. Appreciate the sticker there, Duke, and y'all go check Duke's out if you hadn't. I'll drop a link down here in the bottom of the description. Alright, so it's been a couple days since I done all this. I've got me some springs ordered, and I got all my hardware in. I'm waiting on the springs. Thought first thing we'd do is look at these bearings, and as you can tell, this one's shot right off the bat. Right off the bat. Or this one, it sounds like it's a little bit dry. That one's good. Very little movement. So that one's a fairly new one, I think. Or decently new. We definitely won't have to replace that one though. But I got 5. As long as I got, actually I've got 6. So as long as if I've got at least 2 good ones, I think we'll be fine, and I should have at least 2 good ones. That one's shot. You can tell if I get the thing off of it, it's missing part of it. It's actually missing this part right here. This one's in pretty good shape. I might reuse it. That one's not much no good. That ain't too great. I think that's the newer bearing retainer I replaced last year, so that should be a fairly new bearing in it. Yeah, that's the good one. So that one's good. I'm gonna more than likely leave that just like it is, and we'll go around and take off the rest of these. First thing I want to do is loosen up these 4 bolts right here. Push this gearbox in, get this belt off. I'm gonna have to take off the drive shaft to get the belt off of it, which is only held on by a bolt. So bolting a couple nuts, and that drive shaft will pull off. And once we loosen these 4 bolts, we just loosen up on this tension bolt here, and that whole thing will slide this way, and that belt will come off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, with everything kind of loosened up, should have a little bit of slack in here. I just got these bolts finger loose. Just make sure all of them turn free. Now this adjusting rod, once you loosen it up a little bit, sometimes you can actually pull it out of the holder if you got it loosened enough. I've got a little bit of movement here. Just going to tap on this thing. Tap on my hitting that finger. I just hit the bolt and made the bolt go. Right now we can get the bolt completely loose. There's supposed to be a little retainer here I'm missing. So just run it off fully like that, and we'll come around to the other side, and I hope the belt I got up here is the right belt. But we shall see. There's the old belt. I don't think it is. I reckon that belt's this belt's stretched over the years or something. I've had this belt for probably 10 or 15 years, waiting on this one to break. I'll show you this belt. I can't believe it's lasted as long as it has. This belt's in pretty bad shape. And just for the heck of it, I'm gonna go ahead and stick it on. I don't want really want it on right yet, but I'm just curious to see if this thing even come close to fitting. No, not even close. Let me go double check and make sure that's the right belt, and then I'll be back. Well, that's the only belt I found out there. Like I said, we've had this belt for a long, long time. Good thing we ain't never had to use it, because I don't believe it'll fit. And I don't remember where I bought it or what. I thought maybe it was another Baylor belt, but I didn't see any other belt in there. And so I don't believe that's the correct belt. So we'll have to get with Massey dealer and see if we can get the right belt. That ain't gonna stop us from doing what we gotta do today, and which is we're gonna remove these keepers. There's 3 bolts here. They're 9/16 headed hex bolts, and we'll pull these bearings and bearing retainers off. We'll inspect the bearing retainer. We'll replace the bearings if it needs it, and we'll do that to all 7. We'll leave this one like it is, because I know this is a brand new one. I can see the way it's bent over right here, and all these is almost flush. There's no more bend in them. Got a little bit of bend in this one. I think it might be alright. So hopefully we'll find at least one more good one, because I didn't have but 5 of these. Alright, so can y'all tell me which one of these 4 I've not had off within the last year? If you guess this one, you're right. That thing was dry. That one's the only one that really gave me issues. Now, another thing I wanted to check was these bearings and these hubs. This one got a little bit of play. Probably could stand to be repacked. This one over here, on the other hand, has a lot of play. I would say that bearing's probably shot in it. So we're going to take this hubcap off, pull that retainer nut off, and it should be about like a wheel bearing. Spindle, a couple bearings, and kind of what it looks like a trailer hub to me, like a trailer wheel hub. So I don't expect any issues except maybe getting this cap off. I've never tried to get it off before. All right, everybody. Well, the hubcap came off real easy, but there's some old liquidy grease in there. You're going to want to make sure you wear gloves. You don't want that old bearing grease all in your hands. It's hard to get off. I'm going to take me a towel and wipe it out where I can access the bolt, the nut that's in there. It's probably got a car key. We'll get that nut out, and then we should be able to pull the whole hub off. All right, well, the nut was actually loose. It does not have a car key. Probably really the only thing wrong with it, just need to tighten it back up. Since we've already got it off. The only thing I'm really worried about is this seal back here. Is it going to come with it or not? Here's our washer, pretty big thick washer that goes between the nut and this bearing. Bearing's got a little bit of play. It wouldn't hurt to replace it. Can y'all see that? I hope you can. If that's a bearing, I've never seen one like it. Alright guys, so here is the bearing. It is a Timken 09067, made in USA, and it don't look in bad shape. Not at all. Probably just repack that one and put it right back. Alright everybody, so off camera I got that bottom bearing out. So if you look at the back of this hub, you're going to see this part right here. Alright. And it looks just like a solid sealed bearing. And it's going to have some play in it. But what this is, it's just a grease seal with some felt in it. Now this bearing has a lip here for that seal to sit in. So here's the bearing. This is also a Timken 14120. Alright. And the race is not a max set, because this race has its own number, and it's 14724. It's also a Timken made in Canada. Now the bearing don't look that bad, but the race, if I can shine this thing up for you, the race looks a little bit worn. You see it's dull, and it looks like a few score marks, but it's flat. I mean, there's nothing there that would catch anything. It just looks dull and worn to me. The bearing itself, it feels tight. It's hard to tell, but I don't see any obvious wear. Well, it's still got a lot of old grease on it, but I don't see any obvious wore out bearings in it. Still rolls good. Probably could reuse these. Just put that back on there. This is kind of a holds this bearing in by press. Just pressed in the back of this hub. Now the front bearing, more than likely, it's a max set. These typically are, and I didn't take that out because I'm going to reuse that bearing. I'm going to try to find another bearing, at least another race, see how much they are anyway. If they're cost prohibitive, I won't worry with it, but that's where I'm at. Let's go inside and we'll look at some of these old bearings I pulled off of here, do some inspections, and we'll go from there. So we're looking at two things. Number one, we're looking at the bearing itself, and these are just set in this keeper. And normally you can just pop them out with your hand, unless it's like this one and it's shop. This keeper is still good, so I like to save it. So I'm gonna have to stick this in the vise. Just make sure that there's enough room for that bearing to pop out. Let's get some safety glasses. I done had some grease fly in my eye. There we are. Never want to use compressed air and old grease. Let's see. I'm going the right way. That's the only way it can go. And we can see that bearing is pretty well shot. I mean, it didn't have any grease left in it. Alright, so this so the bearing's no good. I'm gonna throw it in the scrap bin. We'll look at this keeper. Look on the back side. Maybe you can see a little better. Get the glasses off. You can see on the back side there's a lip in here, and we want to make sure that lip's good all the way around. This is actually in good shape. It's rounded in the front and it goes back. I'll show you one that ain't in good shape. So if we look at this one, there's hardly any lip. There's a little bit of lip, but if you look in the front, you can see there's been some damage and it's wearing around here. So this one's no good. But we'll definitely be able to keep that one. I'll show you side by side. We can get it in the picture. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I can tell it. So that one's no good. I missed the scrap bin. Alright, here's another bearing. This bearing's been replaced probably within the last couple of years. It's tight, but it's a little bit on the dry side. But it's kind of a sealed type. I'll save it for maybe a spare. And what I did, I just took all these off and just dropped them in here with the bolts. Now here's another good example of one that is completely wore out. See, it's missing half the retainer. Strap. That would stay out of my way. There's another one that's, yeah, it's getting wore out right in here. It's still got a pretty good edge on the inside. We'll hang on to it. There's another one that don't want to come out. Now this looks like another good retainer, so let me get this out. Look, it looks like it's missing a bearing. So this one, even though it's got some crusties, I believe it will clean up and be okay. It's nice and round. There's no sharp edges on it. This, on the other hand, has seen better days. Should be shot. That one is completely gone there. Another one that was been replaced in the last few years. It's fairly good. We'll save it. And another one that's completely shot, dry. Here's another one that's getting wore out right here in the front. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's getting a little sharp edge right there. Yeah. We'll save it for a spare. Wouldn't want to put it back on there, but might come in. Here's another one that's been replaced. You can see it's still got everything. It's in pretty decent shape. Still got oil. Good. Here's one that I'm going to say it's no good. I think I repacked it last year. So what I usually do is run my finger around here, and if it's wearing out, it's going to be sharp. Where it's getting thin, this one's in good shape. Looks like we're going to work out on the bearing retainers. I believe that's all of them. These are backing plates. So looks like we end up with 4 decent bearing retainers. Left one on there. And we got 5 new ones, so we'll save the new one for a spare. We might just go ahead and chunk this one. It's getting wore out right there. I just don't know if I really want to trust it. Actually gonna have 2 extra, so no biggie. Well, I guess that's gonna do it for today, y'all. Appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for part 3. Maybe we'll get some more parts in. Please rate, comment, subscribe, hint.